dues. This is a situation where a civil court said, look, for 2 weeks in January, the leaders of SEIU, UHW, Sal Rosselli, John Borsos, and many others were essentially doing what their members had voted that they wanted them to do. And because of the odd nature of labor law in this country, that doesn't count. What actually counts is what the parent union, SEIU International, wanted and what the executive board of that body had voted. And for the 2 weeks when they were essentially disagreeing with and disobeying kind of an edict from Washington, they had to repay the money that was spent by the union that they were in charge of at that time back to the International. I mean, it would have been a choice I would have made because it was what the members wanted. And I think ultimately that is the sort of irony of this whole thing, is that they are being penalized and people are having liens put on their homes and their wages garnished by SEIU. It's a really ugly fight here, Juan. Over essentially doing what was the democratic will of the members in that local. And that's the thing that SEIU can't contest. They can't argue that this was an autocratic regime. They can't argue that people weren't elected to run this union, that members didn't have a say. They absolutely did. They're essentially propagating the big lie that this is a corruption problem, that Sal Rosselli was greedy, that he stole people's money. And that is absolutely, not true, and it's not a leg that they can actually stand on.
Finally, I'd like to ask you what the implications of this are for this entire reform wing of the labor movement, which gathered together a decade ago or 5 years ago under the Change to Win mantra. Now Andy Stern, the president of SEIU, has resigned. Anna Berger has left, who was the head of Change to Win. What does it mean for what the reformers were trying to do to shake up the labor movement?
Well, I mean, I think Change to Win is a dead man walking. It's just a matter of, how long they're going to go before they give up the ghost and what they're going to do next. What it really, to me, demonstrates is that, you're not going to reform this labor movement from above. You actually are going to only rebuild it from below. And the problem, as I said at the top of the show, is that people are really missing the key ingredient here, which is the members. I mean, we're not going to strategize our way out of this with some smart kids with laptops in Washington, D.C. This is actually going to have to be about re-engaging and re-energizing the militancy and, possibility of millions of trade union members around the country. And right now, they feel like their unions are out to lunch. They don't see them every day when they go to work. They're in an undeclared war with their employers, and, folks are too worried about the next midterm election or, what's happening in state politics. And so we really have to actually reconnect with what union members care about and really re-inspire them to the kind of audacity and militance that really built this labor movement. Forming a new federation and sort of proclaiming you're the John L. Lewis of the new 21st century labor movement, that's been proven dead wrong. And fortunately for us, we kind of can clear the decks now. Andy Stern and Anna Berger are gone, and we can try again. And I hope that it starts from the bottom up.
And in a few seconds we have left, your sense of whether Mary Kay Henry, the new leader of SEIU, will really make any departures from the Andy Stern policies of the past? Well,
I think she was smart enough to try to actually make peace with with Unite Here and actually go around and spend some time repairing relationships. But the fact that she's willing to pursue this to the ultimate end here in California demonstrates to me that SEIU is completely broken away from its long tradition of struggle and civil rights.
Well, I want to thank you, Mark Brenner, from the Director of Labor Notes, for helping us analyze this important fight. Democracy Now! Is produced by Mike Burke, Sharif Abdel Kudus, Aaron Mate, Angelique Comet, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Massoud, and Robbie Karen. Mike DiFilippo and Miguel Noguera are our engineers. Special thanks to Becca Staley, Julie Crosby, Nick Gilla, Hugh Grant. I'm Juan Gonzalez. Thanks for listening.